Hey folks, welcome back to Failure at Retirement. So in between the greenhouse build and all the other things the guys got going on, I've been hitting a few estate sales, some flea markets and whatnot like usual. That's how I get my steps in. This is what I'm telling myself anyway, right? Got to stay healthy. So anyway, I've got a whole series of small tool hauls that have been too small for their own video, but they've been stacking up here. And so I figured I better get this video made and put out before I forget where I got them all, right? And then apologize. I don't know if you'll see it or not. My workbench is a mess right now because of the greenhouse build. But anyway, enough about that. Let's get after it. Okay, here are the first three of 5 little tool hauls. First, in early November, Mrs. Failure and we went to an estate sale, and I didn't have a lot of hopes for this one. There was a ton of tools there, mostly machinist tools. And this particular estate sale company, we have not had much luck with in the past. For some reason, it didn't look like it was going to go well, but at the final moment, the lady turned out to do the right thing. So, what do we have here? First thing we have is a really, really clean proto slip joint pliers. Now, these are, I think, probably the big dogs. Like, look at that compared to my hand. So, one interesting thing about these, what is it? It's a model 280. Is that what that says? Yeah, I believe so. So, I should have looked it up, but I bought a set of these pliers in 1984. They are still with me today. They have ridden, I'm going to say, 750,000 miles in my pickups. It is right now today in the door pocket of my F-250, but it's a smaller size. The ones I bought back then were probably only that long. So kind of jazzed to have the same exact pliers in a bigger size. Next up here, we have a set of 1/4 inch drive. You know how it is around here. Flying V, 1/4 inch drive. Yes, please. And look at these. I don't know if you can really see down in there. These are mint. Like, I don't think these were ever used. And if you look, these sets, the little 1/4 inch sets, always had 9 sockets in them. 2 8 points and 7 6 points. So we're missing a 6 point. Turns out it was a 7/16. Failure got home, looked in his extra bin, and look what we have here. The Flying V 7/16 1/4 inch drive that we're missing. Perfect. Then next we have a little 3/8 drive, also Flying V. I believe this is a, whoa, so that is also a 7/16. And then all of that was on this magnetic rack, which included 2 VV 1/4 inch drive sockets. They're nice, they're super clean. The guy will put that probably in the grandson's pile in case I come up short. And then I kind of jumped over it here, but we have a Flying V double box end. Really, really clean. This guy, don't think he used his wrenches very much. He didn't have very many. He had a lathe and a milling machine and a bunch of machinist tools. This, I think, this is a 1/4 inch drive extension. To me, this was maybe the prize of the whole deal. 1/4 inch drive extension, Craftsman Circle U. And that's like a 6 inch or 8 inch extension. I don't remember. Failure has like 2 3/8 drive, like a 3/8 breaker bar and socket that are Circle U. Circle U was manufactured by the Plum Company, and for whatever reason, I just do not come across them. Nothing like BE or Circle H. The Circle U, pretty darn hard to find. So then we went to the Antique Fair and got another small little snag. Right away found this ratchet and breaker bar. They were together, same guy had them, but they're a little different. So this is a Flying V, but it has the flat top A. So that's a pretty limited deal. I don't know when the crossover was there. This is a single line V with flat top A. Has the oil port. I don't know when they stopped the oil port. I'm thinking mid 70s, but I don't really know for sure. And then also at the Antique Fair, found this little 6-inch diamond horseshoe adjustable. Now, this is, I think, the cleanest diamond that I have ever found. And I was thinking, do I need another 6-inch adjustable wrench? I decided, yes, of course I do. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to put it in the grandson's toolbox. So they will each be getting a diamond adjustable wrench in their toolboxes. Next, I found this ratcheting, double box ratcheting. I believe this is an older one. It does have the pointy A's. So I don't really remember. I think I looked this up and I think this is like early 50s. Doesn't have the plastic edges like the more modern ones do. So I think that's the first one of those I've had. And then here's another thing a guy just doesn't see every day. It's a 1/2 to 3/8 reducer, but it is also, if I can find it, it's a Flying V. So not really sure where that is. Maybe the V's not even on there. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. You don't see the 3/8 to 1/2 older vintage adapters very often. And then this here is just a Flying V 13/16 spark plug socket. Still has the old like foamish kind of insert. And then just happened to stumble across these Dopke road grader wheels. That was a deal. This was kind of like $5 day if I remember right. I think I gave either $5 or $10 for the wheels. I think it was 5 for the whole thing. And then a lot of these others, like I think the ratchet and breaker bar, I think were 5. I think the adjustable wrench, I think was 5. And then I think these sockets and that ratcheting, I think those were like $1 or $2. So I know that I came out of there really, really good that day. So then guy went to another estate sale, I believe. See, this is why I gotta move along on these things. I'm already forgetting where I got some of this stuff. So pretty cool. You know what? This was Antique Fair also, because I remember this tape measure. So Crown logo, little tape measure, pretty excellent condition. Excuse me while I. So it's a little worn, but it still works really good. Spring's a little tired. It doesn't want to go back on its own really, but I can push it right back in. So just the really cool old Crown logo, just kind of had to have it. And then here we have a 15 millimeter Flying V. So I think if you've been around a little while, I've told you before, if I can find a Flying V in a metric, I'm going to grab it pretty much every time, no matter what it was. I looked it up. Metric first appeared in the Sears catalog in 1960. And then Flying V. And then, let's see, this is a flat top A. So flat top A, metric, Flying V. That's like 68, 69 or something like that. Pretty limited run. So yeah, this is definitely Antique Faire. So here's a Craftsman spinner in 1/4 inch drive. And I looked it up. This doesn't have the flying V. Sometimes the 1/4 inch stuff I think was just too small really for that. But I'm not really for sure what the year was on this. But I did look it up, and it first appears in the catalog around 1955. So I don't have a 1/4 inch spinner. So I was super happy to pick this vintage fella up. And then I'm really excited about this one. I know you can probably tell by my voice. So this is dual branded Proto Plum. And it's not in the best shape, but it's not horrible either. And to find that dual branded working, like it feels like it's in pretty darn good condition. That, like dual branded like that, I think that was maybe 1 or 2 years only, around 48 or 49, I believe. Anyway, that I thought was cool. I don't think I have any dual branded stuff whatsoever. I think Jesse at Jesse's Garage is going to be a little excited about this one, if I'm being honest. All right, so this was all like early November hauls. Let me clean this off and reset it, and I'll show you what I found today, late November. Hang on. Here is what I come across today. First, we went to the big flea market. It's a little further away. It's Saturday, so not the best flea market day, but we wanted to hit the local one, which is Sunday only. So we're going to do that tomorrow. Maybe should have waited for the video, who knows. So this came from the big flea market. So 1/4 inch drive, 2nd gen box head, super, super clean little ratchet. So super happy to find that. Just happened to have this Taiwan socket on it. So whatever. Then I found Flying V 3/8 T-bar. It's a little hammered out on this one end here. I'll have to do a little touching up on it. I'm not a huge fan of these, but I don't have very many of them. And so just in order to kind of complete a set, it's kind of a good find. The guy doesn't see them very often. So kind of snag him up when I see him. And then finally came across this round head fine tooth. And this is pretty cool because pointy A's. So this is a really early version. And then the other way you can tell, it's a Flying V and it just says patent pending. So really, really early version, really clean. And it just sounds great. This is like just a really clean, original, not abused and hammered on ratchet in any way. I think that's probably the cleanest 1/2 inch roundhead fine tooth that I've ever come across. So, I mean, I haven't been looking for them forever, just like a year or so or a little more, but super happy about that. Then Mrs. Failure and I stopped by the Habitat for Humanity. I was kind of like digging through, they just have huge tubs of sockets in there. I'm actually going to start at the back because this is kind of a little cooler story. So I've only been going to this Habitat for maybe 3 months, maybe. And can you see that? Billings Vitaloy. I just thought that this was such a cool looking socket with that knurling and the Billings Vitaloy logo on it. These were there, I think, the first time that I went. These sockets have been there for months with people picking through them. Nobody grabbed them. They were $1 a piece. So I think this is the fourth time I went there in like 3 months, and these were still there. Last time I only found like one of them. And this time I found four of them. And so, you know what? For $1 a piece and such a cool logo, those are just coming home with me. And then here, this is actually the first one I found today. So again, you know how I am. See if I can get this to focus at all. So it's not really cooperating. 732 Flying V. It's there somewhere. There it is. Thing that's weird about this, it's 12 point. So that is something that I hardly ever see as a 12 point quarter inch. All the sets, I believe, or almost all of them, had the 6 points. I have a couple 12 points. Maybe someday I'll get enough I can make a 12 point set. That would be pretty cool, I think. The rest of these are all just pretty clean Flying V half-inch drive, and most of them, again, $1 a piece. The little guy, I don't know if you saw it, I think it was 50 cents. Yeah, 50 cents. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring that home. Number 3 grandson, I have some of these Flying V sockets for his set, but I'm nowhere near complete. My guess is I'm a lot closer now. These here, the reason there's two, they're both 11/16. These are both 7/8. My luck, those are probably the ones I already have. But for $1 a piece, I'm just going to salt those away, clean them up, salt them away. Maybe a guy will get lucky, get another grandkid. Anyway, there it is. There's your hauls for the bulk of November. All good quality stuff, in my opinion. It's just the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. So I appreciate you guys watching as always. We'll see you next time on Failure at Retirement. Have a good day.